Okay. Oh, I think I accidentally X'd him out. Let me text him. Okay, there we go.
Hi, all. It's John.
Hey,
Jordan, how are you?
good morning, John.
Nice to meet you.
So this is Jenny, my listing manager. Hi.
Perfect. Hey.
Are you at home? You're out of town, right?
Yeah, I'm just out of town.
Okay.
Visiting
So
some family.
I know you only have so much time because you've got a meeting coming up. So what I'd like to do is kind of go through our process.
Sure.
And so you understand like what we do, why we have the success that we do, you know, the method to our madness. So I'm going to share my screen. And if you have questions along the way, let me know.
Yeah, just trying to understand the process today. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then we'll also actually go over comps towards the end and go over like some of that, like what's going on in the market. This is just our guide to selling. It's education. We consider it partnership, together working, and then, ultimately getting the results that you want. Oops. And so I've got an awesome team. So you've got a lot of people behind the scenes helping to make sure everything's running smoothly and that every client feels like they're our only client. And so, our job is to listen to you, what your goals are, figure out like a plan that works well for you. And then we also want you feeling like you're our only client too. So it's really important. And then our business has grown based on referrals. So if we do a great job for you, hopefully, if you know somebody buying or selling, that you would recommend us. Just being a solo agent, I used to for 10 years. The last 10 years, I've had a team. So it's, there's a lot of balls to juggle. So we want to make sure that no balls are dropped. It's a lot easier when you have all hands on deck versus, two hands juggling everything. And so this is where, it's really helpful to learn about you, and kind of peel back that onion in terms of figuring out timing, situation, any kind of like unique stuff that we can help problem solve. Are you looking to buy and sell? Anything driving your timing? Anything you can share with us that would be helpful, so that we can probably ask you a few more questions just to see if we can line up the right strategy for you. So I think based upon our conversation yesterday, it seemed like, knowing that the market is pretty hot right now, that it might be a good opportunity for you to take your capital gains and go on to the next place. Like you said, you've done this a few times now, which is great. Are you planning on staying local and buying another place?
Yeah. A few months ago, I started just looking at some properties, just in the same area,
Okay.
within the same zip code. So, I mean, again, what I was thinking, it's not confirmed yet, but the idea was to maybe sell this property and do maybe maybe 30-day rent back, or maybe just push out the closing date until I can also close on the new house close by.
Okay.
and move over there. But again, that could be one option. The other option could be, if you want to close faster, then maybe do a rent back for like a month or 2 months, until I can get my next property. I started seeing a few places. I mean, again, like I told you, in our zip code, there's not too many listings, especially for single family houses. So there's a few that are listed that I have seen, which I feel like could be good options. So
Okay.
it really would depend on, as we go through this presentation, like realistically what I can get for my money, for my house, and then how much additional I would have to put in to get my next place, because a lot of the places I've seen were like anywhere from 2.2 to 3 or 2.8, something like that. So, but I also have to factor in, okay, how much of it that is out of pocket versus how much of it would be I can use from my equity.
So have you been in touch with a lender to kind of get that like scenario of like qualification?
No, not yet. I haven't started the whole process, so still just kind of gathering information.
Okay, because one important question that you should know is, do you need to sell this one and get the funds out in order to buy the next one? And so it's like the kind of the chicken or the egg. Do we need to
No,
get?
no, I can buy the next one. So
Okay,
I can buy the next one, but again, I don't want to be paying double. So trying to just time it so where I might have like a couple of weeks of overlap, but I just want to buy something and then hold it for months until this sells. You know.
okay. And you know, do you know about recasting your loan? Do you know what that is?
No, what's that?
Okay, so this is going to be important for you with how you might be moving this, because I know like the ideal situation is you find the next place, you sell this one, you take the equity out to buy the next one, you don't have any double mortgage payment, you don't have any temporary housing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We call that aligning the stars. We've
Yep.
done that, but there's a lot of variables in there. You know, finding the next place, make sure the buyer, their timing, qualifications. There's a lot of things. One thing is that a lot of people don't know is, you know, yes, you want your money out, but let's say you find a house tomorrow that's like, oh my gosh, this is a great house for our next home, but it's not even on the market yet. And you can qualify to buy that. What you can do is once you sell Snow Meadow, you can take that equity and recast your new loan. So what it does is it just reduces the principal amount by whatever cash you have on hand, and it recalculates your new principal balance and your new monthly payments. The terms all stay the same, the length of the loan and the interest rate. So it's not a refinance, and it costs like $300. So lenders don't think about this because there's no money in it, but it's good for you to know that you have that option that, okay, I don't have to have this chunk of money right away to buy my next one. I can recast the loan as if I had the money up front.
Yeah, got it. Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, it's good information.
Okay, so as you know, inventory is quite low. So, you know, when we're talking about the timing, trying to figure out, you know, the chicken or the egg, the buy or the sell first. So if you want to list this, you had mentioned likely in August. If you haven't found that next property and we sell your house quickly, do you have like a temporary in between until you find the next home?
Yeah. So I own quite a few properties around Fairfax County. So currently I have renters in them. So technically, in my leases, I have a 30-day notice, so I can give my renters a 30-day notice and move in there. But again, to your point, also, it could be when we can move into like an Airbnb or something for a couple of weeks and then move out. So I mean, all those options are available. But also, like I was saying, because the inventory is low and I've already seen a few properties around the same kind of McLean area. So I have an idea of what we're looking for. So it's just a matter of figuring out where the numbers land, the dates, and being able to start putting in offers to buy and sell.
Okay, so and you had mentioned a rent back. So most likely the person that buys your house is gonna have a loan. I mean, there is probably like a 10 or 20% chance that it could be cash, but just bank on the fact that it's gonna be a loan. The lender for that buyer is going to allow up to a 60-day rent back for you.
That's fine.
But no more, because otherwise then it's considered a investment property versus a primary residence. So just know that we can try to negotiate 2 months, not even 1 month, in case you want to buy some more time in your house while you're still looking.
Yeah. I think 30 to 60 days should be enough.
Okay. And then when you mentioned, you know, the buying of your next property, are you looking in just 22102 or other zip codes around?
So the ones I'm looking at are 22102 and 22101. So basically East McLean and this McLean, kind of around that area. Preferably, I want to stay in 22102 just because we're aware of everything in the schools and everything. So I think 22102 would be the top preference, but 22101 could be another option as well.
Okay, and you mentioned you've got 2 kids.
Yes.
Did you want to try to keep them in the same? Are they in elementary school?
No, they don't go to school. They're in preschool right now.
Oh, in preschool. Okay. So that might give a little bit of flexibility in case that's why. Okay, because sometimes people want to stick in the same school districts. Okay.
Yeah. I think the school districts in 22102 are pretty good. So, and 22101 is not too bad either. So either one should be.
And our kids went through Spring Hill, and
Yeah,
they're Cooper, and then my son's about to go into Langley.
yeah, exactly.
It's been great. It's been great. Okay, well, that's super helpful. So in terms of timing, you had mentioned
The ratings of the schools have come down, though. Do you know that?
I don't know why.
They used to be 9s and 10s, and now they're down to 8s and 7s. I was like, man, I don't know what happened
That
here.
happened several years ago.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Somebody told me it had something to do with some testing. But I'm not sure. I
Yeah.
still think it's a fantastic school. And
Yeah.
our kids have done really well. And they both have different needs. You know, they both have different gifts, and they're both
Yep.
like very different kids. And I feel like they've gotten, you know, what they've needed.
Yeah, that's still pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else that we should know in terms of your situation? Any unique things? Any like, yeah, anything else that we could help us with making sure that we meet your goals and timing and everything?
No, pretty straightforward. Just trying to look at the options, align on the timing, look at some comps. I'll try to send you a video or some updated pictures, so just so you have an idea of the
Oh, that'd be
renovation.
great. Yeah. And then, if you want us to come in there and take a look too, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So this is just a 10-year history. That this is actually, we need to update this, but we've averaged 100% of our list price. So we know, we try to price it right. Sometimes it goes above, sometimes it goes a little bit less. And we sell within 2 weeks in the market. In the past, year or two, it's probably 5 days. Our goal is to actually list on a Thursday and be under contract by Monday. And that probably happens 95% of the time with our listings if our sellers are working with us and we're on the same page. And our marketing, we feel, has net our clients more money. The way you live in a house and the way you present it as a product to consumers is very different. We want to make sure we have, optimum exposure online. We have, great marketing, photos. So these are properties that were previously listed and weren't selling. They contacted us, we remarketed and sold within the first weekend. And then those clients have continued to refer us lots. And the way you live, again, is different than the way you typically sell. Now, this isn't a requirement. Like, we just had one in the Hamlets that they told us, like, we cannot do anything. Like, they're older. She was suffering with cancer, and they basically said, we need to just sell it as is with our stuff in here. And so we work with them on a strategy too. So you only have 60 to 90 seconds to make an impact. Everybody looks online first, and then they decide if they want to, if they can envision themselves there. They take their precious time to come in person. So we want to pull on those emotional strings as they walk into the house. It'll sell faster and net a higher price. And just staging, we know this works. And so, like, these are just some pretty powerful statistics in terms of, how much more that it helps them visualize and increase the dollar value. And then the average cost of staging for your property, it'd probably be around $5,000, give or take. And,
So my property, if I'm still there, is going to be fully furnished, right?
Okay.
So how does staging work in a fully furnished property?
Yeah, great question. So, typically they like to have a blank canvas so they can, design it themselves. They will work with our clients. We've been working with them for so many years. They will work with us in terms of an occupied property and see what it needs. Now, we also have our own like little side stash, and Jenny is also a stager too. So, we've been able to work with some people's stuff and just kind of finish it off. We like the professionals that is their everyday job. They come in, it's like a TV show where they come in with a truck, 5 guys, and they make it look like a model home. And so that just helps us market it better. And as they walk in, they envision themselves. Think of a hotel room. When you go on vacation, like, you feel comfortable, it's your space. So just think about like starting to depersonalize, and we can come in and advise you of what needs to be done and see, like, do you need full staging? Do you just need some light staging that we can help with to make sure it looks its best? Assuming that's the way you want to go. How do you feel about staging?
Let me show you my property. I think the light staging, if we have like a couple of things here and there, that makes sense. But honestly, like, I have full dining table, like full kind of couches, beds in each room. So I think I have the big pieces already there, but some of your points around maybe taking off some of my personal pictures off the walls and maybe
Yeah.
putting, more generic paintings and then just figuring out like maybe put the kids' toys away and stuff like that. That could be, or taking the shoes out so they have more room to walk around. So maybe stuff like that we can probably do.
Yeah, figure you're moving anyhow. So we always tell people you might as well pack up half your stuff, save yourself some time and make it look better by, having just enough in the room to know what it's used for and not having too much stuff and depersonalizing it so those buyers can come in and visualize their own family there.
Yeah.
Okay. And then just things, to make sure, we've got one shot up at the photo shoot. So all the things, making sure all the lights are on, all the blinds are up, toilet seats down, little things that will make sure that it's, showing its best. We do a 3D tour, and this is actually really helpful. We've had multiple listings that the buyers never were in the property because they were overseas or out of state. And so they felt very comfortable, like seeing it like inch by inch with the 3D tours that we do. They'll send their realtor to make sure there's nothing funky about it, or family members. And there's professional photography. It's not like we take them from our cell phones. And then we have marketing that we leave behind for the buyers. So if they're seeing like there was a buyer that just came into town, and Gailey on our team showed them, I think, like 12 properties, maybe 14 in 2 days. And so just a little handout. And then we have an insert that kind of bullet points out the highlights of your home. And then we also recommend a seller love letter from you, why you love your house, your location, the community. They'll read paragraphs from a seller, but not typically marketing. So we found that to be successful. And then have a personalized domain. It's marketed all over the internet. We have Facebook ads. And then we also do unique pre-marketing. So we can do we're part of the it's called Top Agent Network. The top 10% of agents that are doing probably 90% of the business can share it in advance. We also have an exclusive brokerage EXP platform that we can put it on coming soon.
So when you list it, it goes on MLS, then it goes on Redfin and Zillow and all these platforms.
Yeah, so when it's listed in the MLS in bright, then it gets distributed to all those sites, right? So we do a little bit of 2 steps before that.
Yeah.
So we do I'll tell you, they put some rules on us realtors that we can't go marketing properties before it's on the MLS, other than 1 business day before, except you can market it within your own brokerage. And fortunately, I moved my small boutique into the biggest brokerage there is with 90,000 agents. So we can get some pre-marketing done first within the brokerage. And then we do a coming soon period that does get distributed out, and then we go active. So that way it's like a movie, like you have all these trailers and movie attractions. So that way they have the most amount of people in while it's in the theaters. Same concept. We're trying to get people to know about it before we actually go active. So that first weekend on the market, we have the best and serious buyers that know that it was coming and can plan accordingly. Okay.
Yep.
And these are just, online exposure everywhere. And then we're talking about the office exclusives. So we can actually put it into our brokerage. They do allow that. So that's not breaking the rules before it's in the actual bright MLS. And so this way, if there's a really hot buyer that is banging down our door, and sometimes this happens, we actually have one coming in the Hamlet, and we've had a couple agents, but we've been, we're working with the seller who's 90. And so, it hasn't made sense to show it pre-market. And I need her and every other seller to understand the pros and cons. When you show a property before it's, out to everybody, would you be leaving 25,000 on the table that somebody else would have paid? You don't know, right? So, that would be a conversation that we would have. Some sellers say, please just get somebody in here. I don't need every last penny. I just need simplicity. Other sellers say, let it ride, and let's see if we can get some competition going. We're also part of the EXP luxury that pushes it out to other platforms and other unique marketing, which is helpful. We have unique branding. So our signs are actually reflective at night. We have the directionals leading you into Snow Meadow. The other thing is that stellar relationships with other clients, with other agents is very helpful. So if you have 2 contracts and we know one agent's a pleasure professional and the other agent's been a nightmare in the past, it's helpful to know, like, to try to predict how this is going to play out. So, and we've worked really hard on our reputation in the community. So when it comes to pricing, it is a little bit of a puzzle of figuring out where is the right starting point. So the listing price, like we said yesterday, is a starting point that can go up or down based upon demand. How many buyers are interested in your property? Our job is to get as many people in there and then negotiate to try to get you the best price and terms. So, there's always a range where we can start. Some want to shoot for the stars, where I think I mentioned this yesterday, where you can, you get a premium on it is the reward. The risk is if people think it's priced too high and then it sits there, it's a little bit of the kiss of death, and then you're doing price reductions and then you get lowball offers. If you list too low, the reward is that you can get multiple contracts and hopefully get a bid up. The risk is if you only have one buyer, it's harder to get them up and you could be leaving money on the table. I mean, we like the sweet spot that can go up or down. Where do you feel like you are in that range? Shooting for the stars, making sure it moves, or like sweet spot?
Probably sweet spot, just because, I mean, I just want to make sure that I'm getting a decent price, right? Because, I mean, personally, this is my opinion, is like, if it's $10,000-$20,000, to me, that's not a big deal, because maybe on my next property, if I can time it right, or maybe just, negotiate it over there, maybe I should be able to kind of make that up. So just getting it dialed in would be right in the middle.
Okay.
And then if we have more offers, then, again, like you said, just trying to push it up as much as possible.
Yeah.
But initially, I would say, I mean, definitely don't want to price it too low and then not do justice to being able to just get what value I could be getting. So just figuring out, just dial it in where, it's a good price. It's reflective of the inventory market as well as the updates.
Yeah. So what we look at is the comps, the ones that have actually sold, right? Perform analysis, square footage, updates, location, lot premium, or and then adjust the value, assess your risk. Kind of Vegas odds is like, okay, I think looking at the markets, there's nothing on the market right now, or all of a sudden 10 come on. And we mutually agree upon a price right before too. Like we can adjust it before it goes active. So we can have sometimes we start with a coming soon price, test it a little bit. And then if we need to, we can drop it if we're not getting many calls or many bookings. Okay. Okay. And this is a strategic timeline that's helpful for you to visualize. I like to start on the back end here. So we'd like to go active on a Thursday. In that weekend, we're going to have the most amount of showings. So this is where I was asking you, like, if you're going to be out of town, this like I recommend it. If you're not going to be out of town, maybe you get go down to like the Embassy Suites, or
the open house that you do on Saturday, is it the same as like 9 to 2 or 10 to 4? Is it like a?
So we do a Thursday. So we actually go live on a Thursday, and we actually have an open house that day. So that's been really successful, and you've gotten our postcards, right? I have groupies that come like every time. Like I have a whole following in the hamlet that they'll come to these open houses, and they actually help sell the property, because when the buyers also make it a public open house. So I've got all these neighbors, and then I have real buyers coming in. The real buyers don't know who's neighbors, who's buyers, but then they also get to talk to some of the neighbors who love the neighborhood and help sell.
And what are your usual timings for open houses? The hours?
So that Thursday is usually 4 to 6.
Okay.
And Saturday and Sunday, the first weekend on the market, we do 2 to 4.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
So before going live, we'll have the coming soon marketing, and that can be anywhere from 1 day to 7 days, depending upon timing. We'll finalize the marketing after we get the photos, which is after it's been finalized and staged and looking perfect, which is, after, we want to make sure it's professionally cleaned, as clean as possible. If you have a cleaner, great. If you need one, we have a recommendation. And then obviously this part of, finalizing the property with decluttering and home prep can take 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, depending upon your situation. And then, so we have are you familiar with Google Sheets?
Yes.
Okay, so this is, it's like a hub of information. So this is one of the sheets that you can see, like we like to have a to-do list. So we know who's doing what, by what date. And so this is it helps keep like, everybody on the same page. We also have another tab that will need your help with filling out, how old are your roof, your hot water, you said you got new windows. So that way we can have as much information about the property. And then anything that, we need to know, any, preferred settlement date, if a rent back's needed, your association will need to get HOA docs. So the resale docs, so we can give those, because by law, the buyer has 3 days to review and cancel. And then how you want to be communicated in terms of, showing alerts. And then once the property's on the market, this is when all the showings will begin. You'll actually get alerts to your phone, so you can see, do you have 2 showings? Do you have 15 showings? And the open houses will give you weekly feedback, market updates to see if your neighbor's going on the market. Do they have a price drop? You want to make sure you know all that, and then just continue communication. For open houses, we actually have a QR code, which is really helpful. So it pulls in information to our database, actually. So then that way we can track who's in, see, have they been to other open houses? Have they been in the market a while? Are they brand new? And then if we get a contract, we can reach back out to them and see if we can get that second or third contract. This is another example of some of the tabs in that action plan Google Sheet, where we are going to track everybody in your property, and we're going to follow up for feedback. So you'll be able to see firsthand what they're saying. Do they like it? Do they not? Is there something that they share that gives us a pause about them? We're going to like highlight that in red. So I don't know if you can see this, but on this one, what's written in red is wife is out of town. So if the wife doesn't see it, we're a little bit like suspect of, if she comes to town after we're under contract for a home inspection and she doesn't like it, is she going to cancel on us, right?
Yeah.
So we highlight everybody in green that we think, a light green, if we think they could be interested. And, when we get contracts, we're going to highlight them in bright green. And then just, following just the stats in terms of clicks on the property. And this is the value of having the right agent work for you in terms of knowing how to negotiate. So to get the most favorable price and terms, we actually look at the realtor. It's really insightful to see what the stats are of a buyer agent. Are they brand new? Are they experienced? Are they a tough negotiator? They only get, they negotiate 96%, or do they have 100% of all their buyers pay 100% or more, right? So they're not, they just want the deal done. So it's a little bit of psychology into what they might be advising their buyer. And again, like, are they professional or have they been a pain in the past? Our goal is to get multiple offers, so it gets you the higher price and better terms, meaning, reduce contingencies, the rent back that you want, and even try to get you a backup contract. So a backup contract is 2 really powerful things. One, it obviously has plan B in place in case, buyer 1 cancels on you. The other thing that it does is if, a home inspection or appraisal contingency have been agreed to, and then they start giving you a list of items that they want you to fix, but we've got a backup contract, we can actually cross all that off and say, nope, if you guys don't want to, we're going to go with that number 2. So it gives you some power. We try to, for pre-negotiation, we try to screen lenders and gather intel. We've had lenders tell us things they probably shouldn't have, that, helps us strategically decide how we're going to respond. And then trying to reduce or remove, the contingencies of appraisal, financing, inspection, and just try to fight to get you the highest price with the least risk. And then trying to forecast the possible outcomes and educate you on what those are. And again, back to the risk and return. Sometimes it's like, okay, I've got this buyer and this buyer, and I've had sellers say, I'll take the lower price for no contingencies. And I've had other sellers say, I'll take the higher price and take some risk with the contingencies. It's up to you. We're your educators. And then just, we'll never share anything about your situation that will throw you under the bus. And you'll always get prompt updates from us. In terms of a contract, terms that make it stronger or weaker, are all of these, and we'll put these into a spreadsheet like this. This is another spreadsheet in the Google Sheet, so you can compare apples to apples. So when we're talking about which contract we want to go with, there's things that I really like 150,000 earnest money deposit versus 8, right? Some have contingencies, some don't. So this is a talking point where we decide: are we accepting? Are we countering? Are we trying to get them to resubmit? There's different options. And then all the things that get from contract to close, we have Heather manage that and is on it, making sure everybody's communicated with, the lender, the title company, the earnest money deposit, the title search, all of these things. And then we keep up with our clients after closing. So we're always available for you. And then hopefully you got to read some of our reviews online. We've got, I think like 300 plus 5-star reviews. And the other thing I want to go over with you is, hold on, let me just stop sharing this. Okay. Okay. Oops, there it is. Okay, so just to give you a quick peek of what's going on in the market today. Now, just keep in mind that like real estate literally changes every day. New properties come in the market, they close at different prices. So what's happening now until we go on the market can shift. So sometimes we go up, sometimes we go down, but right now, overall, it's very low inventory, which is a good place to be in for being a seller. And it's kind of hard to underprice a property because buyers have been conditioned now if they are competing, that they know they need to go above list price. So just keep that in mind too. So this is a quick little visual of some of the ones that we picked out, that the closings specifically in the hamlet in the past 6 months or a year. I did add in this one just because it's the closest one. There hasn't been any else for sale on Snow Meadow or Lear, but that's like your hyper criteria because like I said yesterday.
And that 1.24 sold last year, right? This sold
yes,
a while ago.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a while ago, but it just helped to see, and it sounds like you had already, you had already known about it and just
because I went to see that property when it was listed.
Oh, good. And did you say you also renovated your kitchen?
Yeah, my property's renovated. Kitchen, new roof, new windows, one of the bathrooms, the powder room, new flooring in the basement, fresh paint.
Nice.
A couple of other things too, like I have restained my deck, put some other stuff in there too. So there's a list of things I can go through.
Look at this picture got this is not your house. This is somehow this picture got attached there. But you can just see some of the properties that have sold. I think half of these are probably our listings. And then I didn't mean to. So you can and we can send you this link. It's kind of helpful just to see like your square footage. How much difference it is. Oops. How do I scroll over here?
So none of the Lear or Falstaff outside of the big ones, all of them are actually officially 4-bedroom. Even if it says 5, that's just a room in the basement. So technically it's not on the deed, even on the Falstaff one and other ones. So some of these people I know they're listed as 5 or 7 bedrooms, but they cannot be official.
Like not necessarily, because people
it's
my house
unless they
I did an egress window, but
unless they did it afterwards and changed the deed and got an egress window and closet made and then actually went back to change the county records. But usually on Snow Meadow and Lear, all the houses are very similar, so they're all 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath. So this one, I know for a fact there's not a 5th bedroom here.
Okay. And sometimes upper level. Okay,
sometimes if you go into that picture next
here, you can see not a legal bedroom. So as long as you're noting it in the remarks, that's covering them.
So technically, if we're doing that, I have 6 bedrooms.
Okay.
So if you want to just say,
look forward to seeing it.
If you want to just say it's a room and you can put a bed in there, I got 6 bedrooms that way.
Okay, and then let me see. Let me go back to this, and then just average pricing. It obviously ranges, but 621, and this is comparing above square feet. Or what they put it in there for. And then if you're looking just like average days in the market is 13, selling for 101.7%. So you can see some of these went above list price, some of them went below list price. So you can just kind of see that.
Yep.
And then if you're going to put your subject property with your square footage, it looks like it's, you know, around like the 1.3s, like low 1.3s for just the square footage. Now,
Yep.
it doesn't take into account upgrades. It doesn't, you know, the lot premium. So I usually say, and I'm just going to tell you my opinion, when you are backing to or on a busy road, it's usually a 10% delta. And I've had multiple agents.
Actually, my property is not backing to it. So Lear is back to the highway.
Okay.
My property to the highway is about 150 feet away.
But I mean, it's not backing to it. But I'm just saying it's close enough that I'll just tell you, like, some buyers don't mind.
Yeah.
They like the privacy, and others say, I just can't deal with the noise, and I don't. And we've had some buyers that say they won't buy within a highway of so many feet or like 0.2 or whatever. Like
Yeah. I mean, it's possible, but what I was trying to make a point on, the Lear houses are right next to the highway, but the Snow Meadow houses are kind of tucked away from the highway. I mean, it's probably like 200 feet or 250 feet. I mean, still you can see it, but it's not right on it. So if you think about the Lear houses, you see how the Lear houses are super close to the highway, but the Snow Meadow house
Yes.
is
Yeah.
my
Okay.
house is about 200 feet or more from the highway.
Good. And you've got the trail back there, and I think your driveway goes down a little bit, right, into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's private driveway.
Okay. And do you have an easement here? How is your driveway shared?
It's 1/3 easement across those three houses.
Okay, so everybody has an easement. Everybody's got some ownership of it. Okay.
Yeah, 1/3.
Okay. And then this is our listing agreements. So we put this together quickly for you because we just talked yesterday. So you're the only legal owner, correct?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. And then just your property information, our information. You know, we do everything digitally, so we don't want any snail mail. We, you know, have a dummy date in here of December 31st. We need to figure out what the list price is. Now, remember, this is just we can change this at any time with an amendment. So we can always start on the high side for the pre-marketing, and if we're not getting the showings and interest, we might want to adjust it. So don't feel like that's, you know, stuck in stone, because we also don't know what's going to be happening in August. In terms of conveyances, we actually have a separate sheet that we will have you fill out that's a little bit more detailed, that we actually share with the buyers and agents. Is there anything that, you know, doesn't convey, like a light fixture or an appliance or a mirror? You know, we'd want to know that, as well as if there's any as-is items that are like, you know, I've got a humidifier on the furnace that I don't know if it works or not. So that way the buyer's not expecting that it's going to be, you know, working. We don't recommend as-is marketing because people might think what's wrong with it. If you have a home warranty, let us know if it can convey. And then in terms of utilities, you've got the hot water, everything's electric. And now you have an oil tank. Is it below ground or above ground?
Above ground.
Okay. And do you know how old is it? How old it is?
So I used to have a below ground that the previous owner changed and put a new one above ground. It's sitting on a concrete slab.
Okay.
So it's in good condition. I can go and check the make, model, and year of it.
And do you own it or do you lease it?
No, I own it.
Okay. And do you know if the previous owner, when they removed the underground tank, if they had it permitted through the county and had paperwork on it?
No, I don't know about that.
Okay. That might come up because Fairfax County requires that it be removed and permitted and checked, because what was happening is, like, you know, if there's oil left in there and they don't remove it properly, it can get into the soil.
Yeah. My understanding is that it's still underground. They sucked all the oil out.
Oh, it's still underground.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the underground, they sucked all the oil out, and they have kind of put a
Sand in there.
and they have closed the filler cap as well. So it's kind of just
I bet there's probably some kind of paperwork on it if they did it, because I mean, like, you have to have it. Well, depending on what year they did it. So that might be something that you want to look into. So that way we're not like trying to.
How do I just contact the previous owner, or how does that work? How do I get that?
Yeah, if you have their contact information, that would be helpful.
I don't think I have it. I'll see if I can get the agent to.
Okay. And we can help you with that too. You know, agents help agents. And so, you know, there's a favor bank that's usually happening. And so people,
Yeah.
you know, I can ask for it too.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And then this paragraph basically says that we're representing you and all your best interests. We'll present you with property or contracts and you know, counter offers in a timely manner. We're going to market it. You're going to allow us to put a you're going to allow us to use showing time for scheduling all the showings, and we can have a lockbox and sign on the property. And this paragraph 10 is acknowledgement that it's going to be all over the internet, that you understand there's going to be pictures of your property everywhere that you agree to, all this marketing. And then the coming soon. So again, we can put a dummy date in here. It's on or before. So we'd like to sometimes give ourselves a little bit more time. So that way it's on or before, depending upon your situation, give a little buffer there. Types of representation. So designated representation, because we've got 90,000 agents, there's a lot of EXP agents. So designated is if the another agent in the firm is representing the buyer, I'm representing you. And that you consent to that because you want all the agents and all the buyers through. Dual representation is it's typically when there's one agent representing buyer and seller. I will not do that. That said, I have agents on my team that help buyers. So if they have a buyer and they're on our team, our brokerage does require that a dual and designated representation is disclosed. So you know that they're also on the team.
Yep.
Brokerage.
Yep. Sure.
Compensation, our fee is 4 to 6%. It's 4 when there's no buyer agent. We reduce it and give a savings to our sellers. I mean, chances are, honestly, like 5% of the time, a buyer comes in without a buyer agent. They are typically new buyers in the market, so they're a little wishy-washy in a risk, or they're an attorney that likes to do things and mark up the contract, and you know, also a little bit, you know, it's nice to have a buyer agent, truthfully. Now, this is always negotiable, and I'm sure you've probably heard about the NAR settlement. So we recommend that you're still offering commissions to the buyer brokerage firm, because buyers have to come with their down payment, their closing costs, and then like trying to figure out how to pay their buyer agent. It's a lot of sellers are still offering the commission, and it's obviously to the sales price too, right? And then we offer 2.5% to the buyer brokerage. So if there's two, you know, another brokerage and ours, it's 6, and then we actually rebate 50% of the staging costs. So if you are having it staged, like we make more money when it's not staged, but we know it works, so therefore we rebate 50% back to our sellers. So stagers get paid up front. We get paid when it actually closes, and give you that credit on the settlement statement. And then a $395 admin to the firm. No retainer fee up front, no early termination fee. You're not part of a relocation. You allow us to disclose other offers so we can best negotiate for you. You're not part of a condo association. We have to fill some of this out. But you are part of an HOA, so we want to make sure we get those resale docs so the 3 days can begin. And then current liens, you have a mortgage on the property?
Yep.
Okay. And then I assume that you're current on all payments. There's no judgments or liens against you?
Yeah, all current.
Okay. And you don't agree to seller financing. There's going to be some closing costs. Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Okay. And then seller's duties, that you are not a licensed realtor. So we have to change this to yes, there is knowledge of an existing underground storage tank. So it's, you know, we have to disclose that. It's not tenant occupied. Do you have any recording devices like a Ring doorbell or anything like that?
I just have some security cameras in my house.
Okay, that's fine. We tend to disclose it so people know when they come in and they're accessing the property that it can be recorded. So you will allow access to the property so it can be shown. There is some assumption of risk. So think about all your medicines, your personal, like your valuables, that this shall be hidden, put away. If you default, if you don't show up for closing, the buyer could sue you to perform and sell. Never had that happen. And just other like miscellaneous things, you know, be mindful of wire fraud and attorney's fees. We're not attorneys. If you need one, we can recommend one. And here's the other additional terms that we will only represent you, not both buyer and seller. And if there's no buyer brokerage and there's no 2.5%, then it's reduced to 4%, and then we will rebate 50% of staging costs.
Got it. And what about the title company? That you guys work with a title company, or you have one?
Yeah, we love Fass settlements. I mean, they've been fantastic. And like we had one, the buyer was going to use their own title company, and it's the buyer's choice.
Yeah.
But like I hadn't heard of this one, and I was like, we really feel comfortable with ours. Would you be willing to switch it? And they did. And thankfully, because there were some weird, funky things that came up on title, and it was actually a portion of it was on Fairfax County and Arlington County. And there was like an old outstanding loan that wasn't closed out properly from the previous title company and the previous owner. So they problem solved all of it. Like, and it was a quick closing, and we closed on time. Like they problem solved it really great.
What did you say the name is?
Vesta.
How do you spell that?
V as in Victor, ESTA.
Vesta title.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then do you guys have certain deals with them where they give you a good offer or good pricing on a closing?
Not really deals. I mean, I would say they're middle of the road in terms of pricing.
Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, there's definitely ones that you could probably get for a little bit less, but a lot of the fees are on the buyer side.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You will have, sorry, let me find this. Some closing costs, like taxes.
Yep.
About 0.3%. So like on $1 million property, it's $3,000 in taxes. Yeah. And then obviously the biggest one are the commissions. So, a lot of the closings are on the, there are some like deed prep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll show you this here too.
Do you have like a schedule where I can see, let's say if we sell it for 137, 136 and take out 4 to 6% commission and this 0.3 taxes, what would I net?
Yeah, here I'll show you an example here.
Yeah. See, what would I net and what would I have available to put in my new house?
Okay, let me do this here. Okay, so this is an example of our action plan. So what's your payoff amount of your loan? Ballpark.
Let's say 500K.
Okay. So these are examples. You can see the price here. So obviously, property taxes are going to be prorated.
Yeah.
So this would be your net at 125, 13, 135.
Got it.
And you can see like this is like our to-do list. If there's any house prep that needs to be done prior, showing instructions here. We'll need to help with figuring out all the ages.
Yeah.
Okay. And then our offer comparison when we get contracts. So you get a little peek at that. What else can we answer for you?
No, this was really good information. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Really appreciate your approach as well. Again, I think I have to still kind of decide on what the new property looks like and find something that I really like, and then look into listing this maybe by August. So let me give me a couple of weeks, sort things out, think things through. I'll also start maybe talking to some lenders and seeing where the rates are and what the payment looks like. But this helps me figure out, okay, I might be able to get 750K out of this property, and then what's the down payment and the rates and the payment for my next one. So I had to run some numbers and then go from there.
Okay, and I mean, we do about half buyers and half sellers. And so, I mean, we're very good at negotiating for the buy side, finding off-market opportunities. Like,
Yeah.
That's a big one, that especially in this low inventory market. So that's a whole nother side of the business that we do. Are you interested in
Yeah, if you have some off-market properties coming in, I mean, I'll tell you what I'm looking for. Essentially, I'm looking for something that's just a bit newer. So my house is from 79 or 80.
Okay.
And like the 79, 80 houses, there's just more maintenance, more things that go wrong. And then also, houses of those era, like it's lower ceilings. I think I have 8-foot ceilings, whereas the ones I'm looking for something like 2000, beyond 2000, and usually something that's like 9-10-foot ceilings, has a little more square feet, maybe just a little more yeah, a little more square feet. Same, like 4 or 5 bedroom is enough for us. We're just not a big family. 5 bedroom would be ideal. And then yeah, just that's about it. And some anything that you can, if it comes up in like 2.2 to 2.4, 2.5 million, where I can get something around that, I think that would be a good upgrade.
Okay, let me just show you a quick. I mean, there's not a lot right now.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Let me see here. So I mean, we've got like, and you've probably seen most of these, if you've been looking.
Yeah. I go and kind of browse through some of these.
Okay, is there anything on here that is of interest?
Yeah, like I said, I think I've seen some of these. They look okay. They look good. Some of them are definitely could be good options. So really, I'm just the information you gave me and the numbers I have right now. I have to just crunch over here and see. And I like more of a colonial kind of style. So some of these ones, and I like either a brick front or a stone. I really don't like. A lot of people are using the blue vinyl or the white vinyl. I'm not a big fan.
Okay.
So I like more classic kind of colonial style houses.
Okay.
If it's 2 garage, that's great. If it's 3, it's even better.
Yeah.
5 bedroom. Maybe the lot, if the lot, I mean, I would want at least a half-acre lot if possible, because some of these, like, in Hamlet, they have a 0.3 acre lot like my size, but they're putting a 6,000 square foot house. So you basically have no space. So you have literally putting as big of a house as possible on it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I do know. Yeah. So part of what we do is try to source those through the 20 years of relationships that I will get. We put in multiple buyers into homes that nobody else knew about because.
Yeah, exactly.
And so.
Yeah, if you come across something 22102.
We do, and I know it just so. But I'll be honest that we reserve those for our signed clients. So right now you're just, I know you're just starting to talk to us. We'd love for you to become our client, and what that means is signing the buyer exclusive agency that you're working exclusively with us. We will leave our family dinners to go show a hot property. We're going to start sourcing, the off-market opportunities to give you more options. But that's a requirement for us to like share those secret listings. So are you interested in, we can help you with that side of it too. We'd love to. And that way we know what's going on and can help time things as well.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, again, give me a couple of weeks. Let's maybe connect in maybe 2 weeks or so here, because I'm traveling, and next week I'm in Canada. So when I'm back, then let's kind of connect. And if you have those off-market opportunities coming in, we can talk about what it takes to become a client and look into signing agreements and stuff like that.
Awesome. Would it be okay? So we use Zenlist for our drips of new properties, and it's a really great platform that you can save searches. You can say, make notes on it. You can communicate with us. And that way it's an organized way, and it's a really awesome app on your phone. And we can get just a search set up for you. And that way you can see, you don't have to be constantly searching. You can just look to see the new properties and save them and just watch them while you're out of town. Okay. Great. So in terms that you said you'll get us a video, and then when you're back in town, it'd be great to, check it out in person, or if you want us to swing by. And then do you want us to connect you with some lenders that, you can start that conversation in terms of, in case that.
No, I have some lenders I work with, so I think I'm fine. I have some good relationships that I've bought lenders that I've got loans for the last 10 years. So they know me, they'll probably give me a good rate. So let me at least start from my list. And then if I need more.
Yeah, do you mind me asking who that is? Because I'll tell you one piece of the puzzle. And being a listing agent, when I have 2 contracts, and one is with they're pretty even, and one's with this lender and one's with that lender, that is a small piece of the puzzle that can be like, oh, I feel more comfortable going.
Yeah, so I work with Truist, which used to be SunTrust.
Yeah, yeah, that's one of the people I was going to connect you with Kathy Neal, who's actually lives in the Hamlets. She refinanced us, and she's helped a ton of our buyers. And
then I also work with Wells Fargo. So those are the 2 banks that I.
Okay, Wells Fargo has a hit or miss reputation in terms of the processing can sometimes be a little bit longer. Okay. Well, yeah. Do you have somebody specifically at Truist already?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. Well, great. Any other questions before we hop off?
No, I think we're good. Thank you for doing the session. It's very good. Thank you, Jenny, as well. And thank you for giving me kind of a new round and appreciation of the whole process.
Well, yeah, the whole buy side is a whole other process. So we'll probably need to go through that because it is different. You have the same table, but especially in this tough market, obviously we already highlighted the off-market opportunities, which is a big value add to having access to those.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, thanks again, and
all right, we'll talk soon. Take care. Bye-bye.